Hello, my name's Nunny, and you're watching Underground Heroes.
Hello, I'm Kyla Tilley. I'm a singer-songwriter and guitar player based in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. I write a lot of songs, especially since the pandemic, and I will write about anything. That's kind of I will write a song about anything. So I write about shoes, I write about nature, I write about history and sports and video games and art and love and hate. I don't write many songs about hate. Butter knives, dinner knives, dishes. I've written a lot of songs about a lot of different things. I use a lot of song prompts. It's very acoustic-folk, but I'm a big metalhead and I love prog rock, so all of that seeps in.
How long have you been making music, and what got you started?
So I've been making music for 30 years. When I was a little kid, my parents stuck a classical guitar in my hands and put me in lessons, and I was really oblivious as a kid. Like I didn't know it. I didn't understand what was going on around me and adults and stuff. It was weird. But it was just like, oh, okay, I guess this is what we do now. And I liked it, obviously. I practiced all the time. I was never I remember my parents saying, oh, we never had to tell you to practice. That was all I wanted to do. So I spent the years of my youth sitting on the couch with the guitar between my legs, played a lot of Bach, and at some point I listened to a lot of Celtic music. My older brother played in a Celtic band. I grew up in Newfoundland, so there's a lot of music around. And I kind of put two and two together one day that, oh, you can play chords and sing over them. So I started playing in bands in high school, and I busked as a teenager a little bit. I've always played in bands. I've sang in choirs, been in metal bands, experimental bands. I've played solo. I've done a lot of different things, duets, background music, foreground music, lead guitar, all that stuff. And I put out Kyla Tilley's first EP in 2018, but it's songs I've been playing live for years. And some of them songs I've played in bands, and some were songs that I played in multiple bands, but none of my bands ever recorded, so there you go. So that's kind of that. And then I was really, in 2018, I was really stagnating, I guess. I hadn't written a song in a while, and I needed a bump, and I went to a songwriting retreat and was introduced to the concept of songwriting prompts, and I've been a little bit, maybe I've taken it too far.
What's your latest release called? Tell us a little something about the track.
So my latest release is a single, and it's a co-write. The single is called Swimsuit and Axe, and I don't usually co-write as Kyla Tilley, but I have a very close friend, Cara Windsor-Hare, who I played in a heavy metal band with years and years ago called Endearing Perversion, and we wrote a lot of songs together then. And she would write the lyrics and sing them. She was diva excellent, and I would provide the riffs and play the guitar. I was Mistress Pandemonium, riff Mistress Pandemonium, perhaps. Anyway, and we'd have a cycling rhythm section. But all that aside, we wrote comedy. She's a stand-up comedian. But we've started writing really serious folk songs. So during the pandemic, she sent me some lyrics for another song that she had written about John Prine when we heard that John Prine was in intensive care with COVID. And I put music to it, and we were like, oh, we've written a serious song, whoa. And I was beginning to collect songs for my next album, and I wanted to put that one on it because I was really going with a lot of themes that involved kind of a self-acceptance and personal growth, and giving yourself permission to be yourself, I think, is really the key point. And so I called her to ask if I could put that song on the album, and I was telling her about the album and the themes and this permission to be yourself, and she went, oh, Tilly, I got a set of lyrics for you. So she sent me this other set of lyrics that she had worked on over the course of a winter And she just had a really miserable winter. Winter is miserable here in Newfoundland anyway. It's long and wet and bleh. It's bleh. And that's a terrible thing to say on screen. The Newfoundland Tourism Department is going to come knocking on the door and drag me away. But anyway, she'd had a terrible winter, and she was dealing with loss and depression and just all sorts of terrible things. And sort of by the end of winter, when spring came and she could go back to swimming, which is her favorite thing to do, she had this realization that, like, all this time what she should have done was taken an axe, gone out to the pond, chopped a big hole, and gone swimming. So that's what the song is about. And it's about kind of coming into yourself and realizing that you can kind of change things around for yourself. But she's also a visual artist. Kara Windsor Hair is really interesting. You should interview her. She's also a visual artist as well as a comedian and a singer and a songwriter. She's written a lot of songs. But she painted 22 little tiny watercolors to go along with the lyrics, and so we put those together into an accompanying lyric video. So that's probably more than you wanted to know about my latest release.
Who's the last artist you just listened to?
So the last artist I listened to was actually Steel Eye Span, which I'm kind of laughing at because I've been listening to them since I was a little kid, and I listen to them all the time, and I still listen to them all the time, and they're still putting out music. So the most recent thing was their album from 2019 called Established in 1969, and they're still trying different things, and they're really delightful. And I actually have to thank like this whole streaming service thing for me knowing that they're still putting out albums, because they're sort of like, they're not a common household name in Canada, and like they don't tour over here as far as I know, because I certainly would have gone to see them if I'd ever had that chance. And I just kind of didn't realize they were still together. To me, they're a 70s band. But we got these services a few years ago, and I typed in Steel Eye Span so I could listen to Below the Salt. And they're like, hey, do you want to hear their new album that they put out 3 weeks ago? Like, oh, delightful. That's inspiring.
What are your plans musically for 2022?
So for 2022, I have some really big plans musically. I am putting out my second full-length album. It's the collection of songs have something to do with personal growth and self-acceptance and giving yourself permission to just be yourself. I would say of the music I've released, this one will be the most like going to a really live Kyla Tilley show. It's kind of, I've tried to fit in sort of the full range of what you can expect from a Kyla Tilley live experience. So it's really emotionally up and down. There's some really stripped down, quiet guitar and voice songs. There's some really loud and angry and raucous full band songs. I've got some friends joined me here and there. Not many, it's mostly me. And my husband on drums. But so I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about it, actually. And a lot of the songs I've been sitting on and not performing live because I kind of want them to be, I don't know, I want to release my album and play a bunch of shows and surprise people with songs they haven't heard before. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to play live for as many people as I thought I might be able to in 2022. I don't think it's going to be safe. So the sort of second part of my musical plans involve doing a lot more live streaming.
What's inspired you to do music?
I would say that I am a firm believer in you have to go out and find inspiration. I can find inspiration pretty much anywhere. I'm generally somewhat inspired to do music, but sometimes you need some extra. Live music for sure never fails, and listening to music too, but I really love live music. And it doesn't even matter if I like genres that I'm maybe not so into, or artists that don't even really do it for me, but if I catch them live, I'll still find inspiration in it. People who are masters of their craft is a big inspiration for me. So if I'm feeling, I will admit to having a private playlist on YouTube of people being great, like virtuoso guitar players and people doing their gold medal skates at the Olympics, and wonderful. I really love sports. I watch a lot of sports, and just watching people who've spent hours and dedicated hours just really mastering their craft is very inspirational for me. So just doing that, looking for other people who are themselves inspired, inspires me. Art, music, I've said, video games, and for like subject matter, like I read a lot, I go outside, I play video games, I watch movies, and all of these things can inspire me in different ways. And so I'm just kind of constantly open and ready to receive. And I have this studio, and I kind of have my quasi hours, and it's just like, okay, these are the hours that like I have to sit down and write during these hours, whether I feel inspired or not. So you'd better go find inspiration. And I keep lists of things. I'm a big list maker, so I kind of got grab bags of song prompts. I really like writing with song prompts. That I find those help get the creative juices flowing.
Okay, dream gig. What two artists or bands, dead or alive, would you perform with, and where would that gig be?
Dream gigs, that should be fairly obvious to anyone who knows me really well. I would quite like to have opened for John Prine. And most recently, I was like, how do I get on the bill of the All the Best Fest, which is the festival that he organized in the Dominican Republic, which I think is ongoing. So I'll put that out there. FYI, I'm still available to play the All the Best Fest. I would rather have played it with Mr. Prine, though. Let's see. I wouldn't say no to a world tour with Joni Mitchell, but I'd really like to have opened for someone like Rush. Yes, that would have been nice. That would have been fun. I could have done that. I would have been a good opener for Rush. Geddy Lee named his children after me and my husband. He didn't. We just happen to have the same names as his children.
Can you tell me an interesting fact about you? Something that we probably wouldn't know.
But I'm not Kyla Tilley, singer-songwriter. I am the lead guitar player. I'm the only guitar player. I am the guitar player for Molt, which is a very, very proggy death metal band that I play in with my husband. We have some very long songs. We have very few repeated riffs. Very little 4/4. My mother complains that you can't tap your toes to Molt. And all of our songs are about nature and creatures and ecosystems.
Thanks for the interview. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to all of my friends at Ham Bones Open Mic, which is an online open mic that I've been going to fairly often throughout the pandemic, and it's just been a real great way to be playing my songs for people and to hear other songs. As I said earlier, hearing live music is a really big inspiration for me, so it's been great to do that through the open mic. I think also just all the people that I've sort of come in contact with in this last couple of years when Kyla learned about the internet, which Kyla didn't know about the internet before. So it's been really fun. I've met people all over the world and heard so much new music and played my songs for so many different new people, and that's been really wonderful. So I guess that's a shout out to the people that live on planet Earth and do musical things.